Right, ladies and gents, guys and girls, welcome back to FTRL. Once again, we are here for round 4 of season 10 for the very exciting F2 Championship in Catalonia in Spain. So, after some incredible opening couple of rounds that these boys have had, we are well in for a treat. So, joining me this evening in the box is Simon, or Blue Flag as you may know him. Good evening, my friend. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm very excited for this. We've got a fantastic turnout. Finally, people are back off of holiday and so on.
So they're numbers we like to see.
Exactly. Well, it should all start getting back to normal now. Like with F1 last night, we only had 14, but next week I think we're going to be back up to about 17 or 18. So, holidays this time of the year. What can you do? Hopefully, we're going to have a Bendel as well during qualifying. Unfortunately, he got home very, very late and couldn't do his update. So. He's got a qualifying ban anyway, so he will just be starting from the back regardless if he can get in. So we should have a Lee Cole as well, hopefully join us in commentary once his update is done as well. These admins and how useless they are, you know how it is, Si.
Yeah, I know.
Well, anyway, right, let's get to the action. So first of all, welcome to everybody in the stream. I'm sure the numbers are going to grow pretty quickly, so please leave plenty of comments in here. Let us know what you're thinking. Any thoughts, any questions, anything at all, we'll get it all read out. So I'm just going to get the standings up, but Spain, how are we, what's your views? I know you're not a particularly large fan of Spain, are you, Simon?
No, and there's a few drivers on the grid who happen to share that sentiment, Pagani being one of them.
Yeah, but Pagani doesn't like anything, that's the
there is that, yeah. That's a very technical circuit, lots of sort of medium to high speed corners. Spurge's already picked up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Donzo. Don't know what's happened there.
Well, it's a good way for Spurge to introduce himself into the league season, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, well, just talking about Pagani, we put out a poll today on Twitter. Saying about the F2 boys living up to expectation and who's everyone's money on tonight, and it was extremely close between 3 drivers. One of them being Stocky, the championship leader, one of them being Ox. The other one was Pagani, who actually came out on top. So people are tipping Pagani to do well this evening. Now I know he'll be the first one to go, oh no, I'm going to start last and all this other stuff like Pagani does, but he's second in the championship. And he's having a very, very good season indeed. So, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Pagani can bring home a good result tonight? Maybe not the win, possibly, but...
I think he's got a good shout at the podium. He's one of those drivers that just, if he can stay out of trouble, he'll just go about his business in a quiet fashion and he'll just be there at the end.
I incorrectly stated that Stocky was the championship leader. He's not, it's Ox. Stocky won last week's race in Baku, so that's I got myself muddled up there. But just a quick rundown of the top 10 in F2, thanks to these wonderful graphics made by Mr. Joe Burns, which I must say, as much as I reluctantly compliment him, they do look absolutely phenomenal, don't they?
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah, anyway, that's enough about Joe, he's rubbish. So,
yeah,
right, top 10 in F2, so we've got Ox, who is on 34 points at the top of the championship, 5 points in front of Mr. Pagani himself on 29, and then he's got division admin Mr. Joe Burns in P3 on 21 points, with Stocky 1 point behind after his win last week in Baku. Then we've got Nexus Iceman, who just missed out on a podium last week by literally less than a second on the run down to the line. And then we've got LR Cooper, who's returning tonight. He's now known as CPI Harry. I imagine he's going to have a lot of name changes this season. He strikes me as that type. Katame's 1 point behind him, so it's very, very close between Katame's and Pagani. Katame's and Joe Burns. There's 5 points between 3rd and 6th. 3, 4, 5, 3rd and 7th actually. Then we've got FTRL Bottle down in P8, LR Deneen, who let's hope can get through a race tonight without getting a puncture. He's had 2 so far in 2 races. So Yeah, and then we've got Metza, who rounds off the top 10, who had a very good result last week in Baku. We've got a couple of first appearances of the season. One of them going to Michael C, whose PlayStation seems like it wants to let him race. We've got a returning Nexus Cats after his holiday. So good to see him back. We also have Spurge making a very rare appearance. Yeah, I thought we'd lost him, to be honest. I didn't know where he was going to end up, old Spurge, but he's here. How long that'll be for, I don't know, but nevertheless, happy for him to be here. And yeah, so we're only missing Bendel and a Mr. Goy Karp, who has shown some very good pace so far as Goy. So I'm quite sad that he's missing this race due to work.
Yeah, Goy seemed quite disappointed himself to be missing tonight.
He certainly did. Well,
I think he felt like he could have had a good result.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to go on board with Pagani, as he's only running in high fuel mix, so I don't think he's particularly where he's now gone up to hot lap. He seems to fiddle about with his ERS quite a lot, does Pagani. Now, what's your take on that side? Because whenever I'm qualifying, like, I never turn it away from hot lap, because for me ERS, the mode of hot lap is there for a hot lap. I don't get it.
I'm a very simple person, so
well, we knew that.
So. I can't do that too many things at once. So yeah, I'll turn the steering wheel, changing gear and stuff like that. That's enough for me. Yeah, fiddling around with fuel mixtures and stuff during a lap, a hot lap especially. It's like you say, it says hot lap. It's designed to do what it says on the tin, surely. So yeah. Well, I did notice on my hot laps last night that I was running out of ERS coming out of the final corner. So
see, I don't get how people run out of it. Like, even if I do a full lap of even Baku, I'll still finish with 25-30%. I mean, it always comes up with the cross at the end of the qualifying lap, as if you've got none left. It always does that as you're approaching the line. But how people say they literally run out is beyond me.
It doesn't happen at every track. There's only maybe 2 or 3 it happens at, but yeah, I mean, I remember on last year's game people saying to me, I keep running out of DRS around Bahrain, and yeah, well, somehow managed to make it last.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on gear changes. If you rev the engine out too much, I think it just drains that little bit extra.
Yeah, well, just on board with LR Denis. Like I said, he's demonstrating some very good pace, I think, in his debut season. The only downside is he's had 2 punctures in 2 races. So now we saw, one of our back-to-back champions, Mr. Dutch Tricks, actually enjoyed the pleasure of a puncture last night on the final lap. So I mean, it's not beyond impossible for Denis. So let's hope he can avoid one of them this evening. Do you reckon he can make it 3 in a row, Si?
I mean, it's a hat-trick he won't want, but yeah, he's picked up punctures on 2 tracks that you probably wouldn't associate being that high tyre wear, so
I mean, this one there is quite high tyre wear.
This one is quite hard on the tyres. Like I say, it's all those medium and high speed corners that they really put a load through it, so
yeah. Well, I'm just looking at let's have a look at the best lap times. Quite a mixture of tyres at this stage. Ox has put in a very good lap on the hard tyre. Now, for all of the time that I've known Ox, I've always known him to be extremely good at Spain. I vaguely remember his incredibly close and weird battle with Mark in UFC some seasons ago.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, where Ox was basically riding him like a bull down the main straight. So let's see what he can do tonight. But I am going to throw it out there and tip Ox to win this race this evening. There you go. Basically a 118 flat on the medium tyre. So he's looking extremely quick, is Ox. Let's hope he can brake for turn 1 this evening and not lose a wing.
Well, I don't think it was turn 1 was his problem last week. It was turn 3.
Yeah, well, no, it was turn 1, wasn't it? Well, straight off the line, he just drove straight into the wall. His brakes just didn't work in Baku.
Oh no, it's Bendel that had the issue at turn 3.
Yeah. Right, so is there anyone that you would like to declare as maybe like a one to watch this evening?
A one to watch. I think Hammer Time could be a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah.
He has said that, well, we know from previous seasons that Spain is one of his stronger tracks. Excuse the dog. Yeah, he said Spain's one of his stronger tracks. And I think when we ran the race round here in season 8, I think he finished inside the top 5.
Ooh.
And yeah, he wasn't too far off the back of Pagani in that one, so keep an eye on that battle.
Yeah, well, let's. Yeah, it's certainly a. It's quite a number of people. I'm just sort of stuttering this because I'm trying to find somebody myself to put a tip in. I'm going to actually say FTRL Bottle has not enjoyed the start to the season that we would have expected from him. I think he's about 8th in the championship, like we said earlier on. But typically, I mean, this is a guy that showed amazing pace and got himself up into our top division a couple of seasons ago. So he's got it in him, but it's just a case of, can he do it again? It appears we have a Mr. Lee Cole joined us.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you, good sir? No problem.
I'm very well. How are we both?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. Just we're discussing ones to watch for the race this evening, so when you're in and settled, I'll put you on that same, give you that same question.
Interesting. Well, obviously I would be supporting the Renault. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Donzo and Cat tripped over each other on a qualifying lap, and Cat retired from qualifying.
So I didn't see it, but I've just seen the comment in the chat.
So he's going to be coming through from the back, so he could obviously, he had a good race last week, so he could be one to watch coming from the back. Looking at how the field currently sets out, I mean, obviously we've not seen
Just Spurge. Just Spurge. That'll do. Yeah.
So we've not seen Spurge this year, so obviously he's a bit of an unknown quantity, so looking quite nice though in 7th place so far, so yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Yeah, well, okay, so it looks like Stocky's going to take pole. I think Ox is going to be looking pretty on those mediums in P2. I imagine Stocky's going to go for the one stop onto the hard tyre. A very competitive time of a 1:17.4, so I imagine him and Ox to be having a very good battle. I imagine Pagani, I'm not sure if he's going to come out. He's not in an awful position, but the only thing with Pagani, what I'm thinking about here, is that he's second in the championship. You know, he's not qualified exceptionally well in either of the races so far, but what he has done is got himself through the field nicely. But that isn't going to work all season. Do you know what I mean? And if he's in that position where he wants to try and get himself promoted, he's going to need to starting. He needs to keep. Hold on, what am I trying to say here? He needs to start higher up the grid, because otherwise he's going to give himself too much work to do and could potentially lose a wing or get involved in an incident or something like that.
Yeah,
so
there's a few tracks where I think having the track position really benefit.
Yeah.
This could be one of those tracks.
Yeah,
well,
I think we saw that last night. The top 3 were saying that it was very difficult to overtake. We saw them. Obviously a few really good moves last night, but overtaking was at a bit of a premium than the rest of the circuits, other than obviously the DRS on the main straight. So this could be difficult for him to get big points coming from 12th where he currently is. Obviously he's out on a lap at the moment, but
So
yeah,
he's on his out lap on a set of mediums.
Cool. Well, I imagine I'm going to tip that Joe and Pagani will slot in maybe 6th and 7th and 8th, somewhere around that sort of bracket. But I think they're going to be very, very close, like they have been all season. So Ox is retired, so I think Stocky's pretty much guaranteed himself pole, because I can't see that time being beaten.
Yeah, Joe's coming to the end of his hot lap now.
Yeah, just on board with Joe now, coming around the final corner. He's going to go to a 1:19.1, so that puts himself, okay, P9. Spurger's got up into P3.
He's on a par with Iceman with that time.
He is, which is not a bad place to be. Now we have a Pagani. Let's go on to the fitted tyre compound. Yeah, so pretty much every single person is out on the softs or the medium tyre. FTRL Bottle needs a good lap. I think we'll stay on board with him. Where's Hammer Time on track? He's coming around to complete flying lap. I reckon this is going to slot him in around 10th, 11th. 8th, okay. Nice. So he's jumped Iceman and Joe Burns. Now, where is FTRL Bottle? He's coming around to complete his lap as well. Stocky has retired there. Now, did Bottle cut that too much? Has that invalidated his lap? 16, 18.
I'm just having a look at Iceman, and he's starting this race on a 3-lap old set of mediums.
Yeah, not the best thing to do. Right.
Yeah, I think so. Saw from last night that tyre wear here is it's a long race. This one, I didn't realise it was 33 laps, and when some of the guys were pitting from, especially the soft runners on lap 7, 8, and trying to get to the end, obviously we saw Dutch get a puncture. So those of us who are good on their tyres, they might make it work, but those of us who run a little bit harder on their tyres, are they going to have to do a late stop?
Yeah. See, this is a mystery to me. Pagani's on a flying lap and he's been running only in 3 mix on his ERS.
I think he's hurt you because he's gone up to 4.
Yeah, he's only put himself in P10. If he'd done that, he could have put himself in between probably Metzer and Donzo if he'd put that up higher. So strange call from Pagani. Now all eyes on CPI Harry as he's come around to finish off his lap.
Deneen's had a spin out of turn 8.
Pagani's probably now going to be hoping that Harry jumps him here so he can drop down and start off and probably what I would assume be a fresh set of hards, which I think he's going to do. Yeah, he's going to do that. There we go. So Pagani's going to be in P11. Okay, well.
So it works out quite nicely for Iceman as well on his 3-lap old mediums.
Well, I would say as an early prediction, Ox is in probably the best position here. Or Oxy, sorry. They're going to get into a habit of calling him Ox because that's what I've known him as for so many years.
Well, I think we thought that last night about Zach starting 3rd on his mediums against the Dutch and Tico on the softs, and it didn't. Well, it did work out in the end, but for a penalty and a spin.
Yeah, so that's a good point actually. Spurgeon going to be starting down in 8th. So, right, so we've got Stocky takes his 2nd consecutive pole position with Ox starting alongside him. I imagine it's going to be a theme for the rest of the season. Spurge starting in P3, but obviously got the 5-place grid penalty. Nexus Aspect in 4th. Jesper in P5, needs a good result tonight, currently down towards the bottom end of the table. Metzer in P6, Harry in 7th, Donzo in 8th, Deneen and Bottle rounding off the top 10. Then we've got Pagani and Hammer Time on the 6th row, Iceman and Joe Burns on the 7th, Michael C and Steph on the 8th, and Nexus Cats and FTRL Cat, and All Cat 9th row, and Bender will be joining us from 19th for the race start. So, well, compose yourself now, gents. Let's see how the weather looks. Looks a little bit cloudy, but all in all quite clear. Maybe some changeable conditions. Could we see that potentially?
Well, the clouds overhead. Definitely a risk.
Exactly. Just whilst I think about it, everybody in the stream, please comment who you think is going to be your top 3. Any surprise results this evening? Yeah. Keep the comments flooding in. I will read them out as much as possible, as I always try to do.
So while we wait for everybody's predictions in the chat, so I've got to put it to you two, your top 3.
I'm going to say Ox for the win, Stocky for 2nd place, and I'm going to say... I'm going to go for Harry in P3.
Si?
Yep, I think that Ox and Stocky will be the top 2, and then I actually think that somebody like Pagani might charge through. I think Pagani might do one of his fights through the field and just nick that podium.
Okay, right. Lee, coming to you then, mate.
I'm gonna put the man on pole for the win. So Stocky for the win. Ox tucked in behind him, and looking at those around. I'm going to go for. I'm going to put Jesper third. I'm going to stick with my Renault Alliance. He's qualified well. I think he needs a good result, and I think this could be the circuit to do it.
Okay, well, Foggy's in there saying too early to predict. It's boring. So come on, get your predictions in. But I would say ones to watch this evening. I would say that little group between 10th and 14th. So Bottle, Pagani, Hammer Time, Iceman, and Joe. LR Deneen as well. It's about time. He's almost feels like he's knocking at the door, scratching at the walls, if you like, ready for a good result to happen. So good luck to him. Cat Amise has got to be one to watch, or FTRL Cat, starting from the back. So I'm imagining we're going to see quite a surge through the field from him. It wouldn't surprise me to see a couple of incidents along the way, not necessarily with Cat Amise, just in general. Spurge is out of practice as well, so even though he's put in a pretty good qualifying time, how's his racecraft going to be? So there's plenty of questions that we are about to find out the answers to. We've had Raver saying Bendel to do Alestra and win it, Peatman second and third, so interesting prediction from Ravers. Liam saying Ox to win, Harry second, Stocky third. And he's saying Stocky could get rimmed by strategy as he's starting on the softs, so Stocky or Pagani. So right, gents, if you can keep an eye on the mid and bottom end of the pack.
I'll watch the back end.
I'll jump on with Pagani and watch the middle.
Okay, right, so we are 5 red lights in Spain for round 4 of the F2 Championship, and it's lights out and away we go. Looks like Stocky's had a pretty good start. Ox is going to tuck in behind. Harry's had a very good start indeed. Is he going to lunge up the inside into turn 1? He does. Oh, and his contact. There's a Renault round, that's Jesper. Oh, there's masses of contact. Massive amounts of contact. There's a Toro Rosso round in the background. That is Donzo. He's dropped all the way down.
The field coming through did a good job to avoid Jesper. He was parked in the middle of the circuit.
Now, Cat just sent it on Joe Burns.
Now, I don't want to make any rash predictions or anything. Oh, Bendel, that's a massive lunge. I don't want to make any wrong assumptions, should I say. But, oh God, who is that lunging there? That's Bendel. But that looked very much like Harry had a very good run into turn 1, but then he just turned across Jesper to give himself a better line to go through and cause Jesper to spin. So not the greatest start from that side of things. LR Deneen is up to P4 already.
Good news is Jesper doesn't look like he's got any wing damage. It does look to be intact, so he's okay. Donzo does have wing damage, so he's definitely going to have to box at this lap.
Yeah, so let's see who dives into the pits, because there was a few. Pagani's down in P10. No damage for Pagani, no. Joe Burns down in...
He's been passed by Hammer Time somewhere in that last sector.
Oh, the Meta of
Spurge.
Oh,
Spurge is out.
There's Spurge. Unfortunately called that about the racecraft. It's just an unfortunate, lost it at turn 2. Very easy to do in Spain. Now Stocky's pulled off 8 temps so far, so certainly needs to make those soft tyres count. We've got a little train now for P3. Sorry, not for P3, for around P14. Nexus Cats and Bendel going at it together. Pagani's on the back of Hammer Time. Any potential moves could we see?
Hammer Time had a bit of a slide out of turn 9 onto that back straight.
So a great couple of laps from Cat, or FTRL Cat, up from 18th to 10th already.
Yeah, so he's up 8 positions. Hammer Time's up 4, Deneen's up 5. Yeah, we've had some people with some very good starts in this race. So let's look at Nexus Aspect. On board with him as he attempts to make a move on Deneen.
The back of Cat. He had such a better run out of the chicane.
Damage, was it?
I didn't see anything come off of that front wing.
Well, Michael C and Cat and me's going at it. Michael C just closed the door on Cat there, so forced Cat off track. So luckily there was no. Oh, they're going to go side by side.
Hanging around on the outside.
Oh, Michael C's being very, very aggressive. So Cat and me's had the corner there. So Joe Burns struggling at the start. Still only in P13, not made up as many places as I thought he would.
So he's on that hard time. Maybe he's just struggling to get it switched on at this point.
Yeah, well, failing that, he knows he's going to go a bit deeper, so if he just stays a bit, you know, with this group, who he's only a couple of seconds.
He's gone for the lunge.
Oh dear.
Oh.
That's wing damage for Nexus Cats. Oh dear. Oof. Bendel and Steph going side by side. Nexus Cats, is he going to box? Metz is already in, so that has to be a two-stop for him. Nexus Cats is going to carry on. Bendel's going to have DRS and Slipstream.
Oh, hammer time Pagani is side by side from turn 2.
So yeah, Metzer, no wing change, so just going pretty fresh tyres. He's onto the mediums, so definitely two stopping. Yeah,
Pagani gets that move done. I was going to close down his teammate. Is Hammer Time going to take a look back at him? He is. Hopefully there's no contact between these two. They're going to be in a party together. Pagani's sensible. He's going to have the inside line for this next left.
Hammer Time's hung it out though.
He has. I imagine Pagani's going to prevail from this, to be honest.
Oh,
no.
Oh dear, there's Bottle.
Oh,
living up to his name. He's gone. There's a lot of tricky corners on this circuit. Now, I don't mean to be. Oh, Pagani.
Just for the background.
Has he got damage?
That's damage. Yep.
Has Pagani got damage?
Yep, the front right end plate's gone.
Oh dear. It's the worst possible thing for Pagani. Just run into the back of Hammer Time. I've known Pagani's just going to persevere though. He can still get a pretty good result. Yeah, he has. Okay, now he's got Cat and he's right behind him. Oh dear, what's Cat? No Cat, no Cat. This is why Cat frustrates me sometimes. Now I'm allowed to say this because I've known him for so long. That was not an opportunity to overtake. So, and this is why he retires so much and stuff.
We saw last night the amount of drivers who were overtaking around the outside into turn 1, and they were saying that, you know, with the banking on the corner, it's actually probably easier to go around the outside of turn 1 there, so he probably picked the wrong side. Exactly.
Well, Joe Burns has moved up a couple now. He's on the back of this train up to Pagani, so I imagine FTRL Hammer Time is going to pull away a little bit. Nexus Aspect is staying with LR Deneen. That is Catamise and Pagani going side by side.
Metzer just picks up.
Oh, what a move by Cat that was.
Yeah, that lack of front end grip that Pagani's got now just sent him wide and Cat darted through.
Yeah, Pagani's getting frustrated, you can see it now.
Yeah.
He should just keep his head. He's second in the championship. He can still get points here.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, wheel banging.
Catame's off track.
It's going to cost him a place.
Oh dear.
Iceman.
Yeah, he's got Iceman up the inside.
Oh, this is
buying for this as well.
Very, very fruity, all this.
Going back at Iceman around the outside.
Like I say, I think there's a bit of needle here.
There is a little bit. I saw a little bit of wheel banging and bumping.
Yeah, it made me think of a video I saw over the weekend. A couple of NASCAR drivers going at it down a straight.
Yeah. It's Bubba Wallace and Kyle Busch. Stenhouse and
that's
Kyle.
the one.
Definitely Kyle
That's
Busch.
the
It was
one.
always going to be
Yeah.
Kyle Busch.
It was always going to be Bush, yeah.
Late
Cat sent
lunge.
it.
It's a massive lunge. Yeah.
A penalty. Pagani off the circuit but keeps
Now-
the place.
Yeah, a couple of people saying, what are these
On
two
a slide.
doing?
Osman's got him around the outside, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Lennon here, which just said Katamise and Pagani to crash, it's going to happen, or I can see an incident coming. It's looking all a bit too desperate from kind of every angle at the moment. I can see Pagani's frustration, but he equally
While
needs
we've
to
been
try
watching
and...
that, Ox is past Stocky.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's time for Stocky to pop into the pits very time soon. His softs are going to be dropping off now, and he's not going to want to lose too much time.
Yeah,
Nexus
Deneen's
Cat's
not too
pissing
far
off.
off the back of Harry now.
And so Nexus Cat's pissing off the hards, but he's needed a new nose, so he's already had some contact as well.
Well, I apologise that I missed the move at the start,
So,
but
I think we all missed it. I think we're all keeping an eye on that mid-pack
because
fight.
this is a big FTRL train. Hammer Time is leading it, but he's pulling away from Pagani, Katamise. Yeah, I've just got a bad feeling. Not even just with those two, just in general. I feel like something bad's going to happen.
Well, we've now got, what, 5 or 6 cars all hanging around within half a tenth of each other.
Yeah.
I think what Cat needs to do is just wait for the straight and do it on the straight. It's the safest place to do it. He'll pull away in the corners and he'll probably clear off then.
Well, yeah, look at Hammer Time. He's pulled out a couple of seconds. Now I'm going to go on board with Katamise here just to see exactly what happens. He's going to hang it to the outside. Pagani covers it off.
Meanwhile, Deneen is closing in on Harry for third place. Now just under the second between those two.
Right, well, it looks like he's calmed down a little bit now, touch wood. Don't want to jinx anything. Michael C and Iceman are going at it right behind as well. I feel like Iceman is probably the quickest out of this bunch at the moment. Katamise really through here, is he going to... Nope, lifts off. On board with Cat going down to the hairpin. Is he going to go for that? No, he's not. Oh, just pushes Pagani out wide. Yeah, I can almost hear Pagani getting angry at this stage.
Yeah, I can imagine what he's saying in that party.
Stocky pits.
Yeah, Stocky's in.
Go the hards, so he's going to the end.
So now you've got to look at the likes of Joe Burns as well. Like, he's unfortunately at the back of this train, and he's not going to be benefiting much from this at all.
Stocky's going to come out behind this squabble as well, so that's not going to be ideal for him. Cat's going to get it done this time as well.
Oh, there's contact. Cat's
spin.
That was almost like a replica of last night with Tim 12 and Matt Cause, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, I almost got caught by Bendel as he came around the outside as well. One left for Stocky to overtake, straight onto the attack of Joe Burns.
Exactly, Jesper picks up a time penalty. Stocky has come out literally slap bang in the middle of this little train here.
He's got some work to do, that's not ideal, because obviously he'd already lost the lead to Ox.
Yeah, so now he's going to have to try and clear these guys as quickly and as safely as possible. Well, I imagine the steward's office is going to be full tonight of incidents between those two, so it should be interesting.
Yep.
Now, those watching the stream that are hoping to go elsewhere, we know there's a battle forming for P2, but like I said, there's a rather large train, and as we've seen, it's been
and
quite
you've got the race leader stuck in it.
Currently watching the battle for P2. It's all fairly calm at the moment. Harry just holding Deneen at arm's length. He's in within DRS range, but not close enough down the straight to make a move.
Iceman's past Pagani.
Yeah. Stocky's all over the back of Michael C. I don't think Pagani will put up much of a fight with Stocky, to be perfectly honest.
Well, Pagani wide at turn 3. That's allowed Michael by.
And Stocky probably is going to fly by now.
Stocky's through.
Yeah, Stocky, can he get 2 in 1? No, he's just going to tuck in behind. Mad race so far. Yeah, Stocky looks quick. How far is he behind the leader? Yellow flag sector 2. That was prototype Steph. Yeah, lack of wing for Steph. He's gone. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, Pagani. He's just been passed by Michael and Joe, I think. Stocky's got past Michael.
Stocky got Michael at turn 10.
Yeah. Yellow flag sector 3. Is that Bendel? That is Bendel. All of you Bendel fans, unfortunately it's happened. Yeah, Stocky is 23.5 seconds behind Oxox at this stage, so when Oxox pits, which I imagine will be in the next sort of 2 laps or 3 laps, it's going to be pretty close when they come out. Yeah, very exciting race this. LR Deneen looking strong though. Could be on. I'm going to suggest that this battle between Harry and Deneen is probably going to be for the final podium spot. I would probably say.
You would think so from this point.
Yeah.
It was 4 seconds a couple of laps ago. It's now nearly 6, so he's still pulling away.
So they've got a 12.5 second buffer back to hammer time.
Exactly. Let's go back down to this battle. Yeah, Stocky's pulling away, so I imagine he's going to get past Nexus Iceman on the main straight, and then he's got a few seconds of clean air, which are probably going to be the most important few seconds, or for the most important kind of couple of laps that he's going to have in this race, because he's going to need to really push.
Jesper just did Bendel at the end of turn 11.
Interestingly, Stocky's actually lost time to Oxox for all of this. Well, Joe Burns goes past.
Right, now Stocky's got some clear air in front of him. So he's got a couple of seconds up to hammer time, so now needs to get his foot down.
Yeah, right, Deneen is very close to Harry now. He was only a couple of attempts behind at one stage just then. Not really pushing though, he's not using much ERS.
Not using any.
25 people watching this live, so thank you all very much. Keep those comments coming in. There's a lot of viewers and not a lot of comments coming, so let us know your thoughts.
So
any
Williams
questions?
Seems to think Stocky's on the wrong strategy, losing too much time. Obviously coming out in traffic hasn't helped his cause.
Deneen's in, he's going to try and undercut Harry.
Yeah, I think that might work for him.
Depends on where he comes out though. If he hits the back of that train.
So the gap between Ox and Stocky now to over 23 seconds, so he's still pulling away. Stocky needs to get his head down now, he's got some clear track.
Yeah. So where's Deneen going to come out in all this?
Looks like behind Pagani. Is he going to clear Nexus Aspects?
Yeah, he's ahead of Aspect.
Yeah, so that's not the worst place for him to be at this stage.
Nexus Aspects on the mediums as well, so he must be 2-stopping, so I'm expecting him to be charging.
Peteman saying hammer time for a podium with a question mark. Goy saying arse comms. Top 3. So what's our prediction for the top 3? I'm still going to say Oxox to win, Stocky second, and I'm still going to say Harry third. I'm going to stick with my original 3. Any changes to yours, gents? And obviously you predicted Jesper. Lee, I feel that might be quite unlikely at this stage.
Probably gone wrong, so I'm going to slot him out and I'm going to pop going to pop Deneen in for third. I think this is going to be his week.
I've got to do it weekly, my Deneen. We're pushing towards 30 live viewers.
Yeah, I'm going to swap Pagani out of my top 3 and also put in Deneen.
Ooh. Will there be, Matt calls in and saying, will there be as an embarrassing as a crash as Aaron had last night? Well, I mean, I hate to say that you was to blame for that, Matt, but you know, that's a conversation for another day. Matt Core's doing everything in his power to try and win this bet that we've got, so, you know,
So
I mean, if...
Ox is pitted and crucially he's out in front of Hammer Time.
Wow, yeah.
Which means he's also out in front of Stocky.
So Stocky's got 1.5 seconds to make up. He can see Ox. He needs to get past Hammer Time as quickly as possible. Ox will be on cold tyres.
Yeah, Hammer Time's going to be out for another couple of laps yet because he's going hard to medium.
Yeah. Now, I'm intrigued to know where Hammer Time comes out in all this as well. When he decides to pit, hopefully he calls this right. Matt calls, no, it wasn't. It was never my fault. Well, it was either you or Tim, but you know. If anyone ruins my race in Canada next week, I genuinely will go mad. Right, Nexus Aspect up the inside of Pagani, so Pagani is really struggling now.
Of course, on those hard, is he on? He's on the hard, isn't he? So he's got to make it work.
Matt calls genuinely triggering me now, saying it was my fault. Okay.
Yellow in sector 3.
Oh,
that might have been Harry pitting.
Yeah, it may well have been.
Where does he come out with the Deneen and Nexus Aspect?
Okay, says
it comes. He just drops in front.
Well, I must say, Pagani is genuinely like managing this as best he possibly can. He's not completely flying off the back of everybody else. He is obviously losing time, and is not going to get as much of a good result as what you would have anticipated or wanted, but nevertheless, he's in a good place. Deneen is right on the back of Harry now, even closer.
Harry got out. Yeah, he got out of the pits in front of Deneen, but he's got to warm those tyres up, and Deneen's been on his for 2 laps, so they're going to be fully up to temperature and working well for him.
I mean, at this stage, when there's a fight going on between 2 cars within a couple of attempts of each other, Codemaster's giving me the camera angle of his rear wing.
Yeah, and they've got Nexus Aspect on the back of them as well. He's running a different race to these two, but he's a factor for the moment.
Certainly is. Right, so Stocky and Ox obviously both pass Hammer Time. There's a 1.3 second gap. Ox on 5 lap fresher tyres. So at this stage,
Harry's gone defensive early.
Here they go, round into turn 1. Deneen around the outside, like we've seen so many times. Makes that stick. Fantastic move.
That's how you do it, boys. That's how you do it.
That is how you do it, indeed. Now Harry is now under pressure from Nexus.
Yep.
Obviously, he won't know. He's probably not battling Aspect's fifth position, really, because he's going to have to stop again.
He's got a lot more grip than Harry at the moment as Nexus Aspect.
He's going to really want to get past, clear off, and try and got some sort of buffer to make his second stop.
Foggy saying Pagani, it's Foggy. Push now, we can take this guy. Here we go. Raver saying Katame's catching Pagani round 2. Let's
2 or is it round 12?
Yeah, good point. Well, for the amount of time them two have known each other, it's about round, I want to say about 118 or something like that. Oh, Nexus Aspect is very fast at this stage. Now, the good thing for Deneen is that Harry is trying to fend off Nexus Aspect, and that's slowly allowing him to pull away. We have a yellow in sector 2.
Oh, Proto Steph's gone round. Lost his front wing.
Yeah, he's not having the best of times. I mean, he's just gone to no assists for this season, like completely everything off as Steph, so I think there will be some mistakes along the way, but it will definitely benefit him in the long run. Jesper and Iceman and Michael will go past Mector as he's made his stop. We'll go back to the Nexus aspect
the
prototype.
inside.
Steph has gone.
Steph's gone.
Oh, contact between Aspect and Harry.
Yeah.
Go for the switchback.
Yeah, Nexus has got a very good run out of there.
Gets it
That's done. Very nice, very composed.
And that's going to give it back.
And there's me saying very composed. I was lying.
It's very easy to leave the back end on that turn 7. Turn 8.
Oh, it's very close between those two. Now we've got Academies and a Pagani in the background as well. Oxox managing that gap to Stocky, who's just picked up a 3-second time penalty right on cue. I apologise, Stocky.
Is that the race, I wonder?
Well, I would firmly say at the moment, advantage Ox.
Right, Pagani's in.
Yeah. I think that was probably the very earliest he could do that and make that work, so Pagani's going to need to have a very good second stint now. Here comes Nexus Aspect. Is he going to... No. Just leaves it out to the last minute.
Look at how much Deneen's pulled away while these two have been battling as well. 3 seconds up the road.
It's going to be interesting to see what the McLarens do with their pit strategy, because Joe Burns only a second behind his teammate. They're on the same strategy, and we've seen in the past that these two actually queued up.
We have.
It was a pre-season race though, so...
Well, I imagine they'll be in a party, so I'm sure they'll have that conversation. Obviously, Hammer Time has got the advantage with him being the leading car on track. Joe Burns typically a bit better anyway with his tyres, obviously being on the wheel and so on, so I imagine one of them is going to go in this lap, and I reckon it might be Hammer Time. Let's just hope they have that conversation and they don't stack and ruin their races. We're going to see Terry dive in. No. Joe, no. Okay. Interesting.
Surprised Joe didn't try and undercut him there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Pagani has come out in P12. He's 10.5 seconds behind Michael C, but he's going to be fast.
That's Catherine's pits.
Aspects on Harry into turn 1.
Gets it done.
Yeah, couldn't really respond very like he would have wanted.
The amount that Harry's been battling Aspect, he's dropped off 4 seconds to Deneen.
Yeah. Now let's work out the gap. Oh, yellow flag sector 3. Who is that? Is that maybe it's just a blue flag situation?
Possibly Brendel. Possibly Brendel.
Jesper and Iceman squabbling as well. So we've got battles all over the place. Now, Katamise has jumped Pagani, obviously with that wing change, so Pagani's 5.5 seconds behind Cat, nearly 6.
And then onto the back of Joe Burns. Obviously these two get to stop.
One of these McLarens have got to go in now. Surely they both won't go in, but one of them has to. Hammer Time's in, yeah.
That was it.
So, nevertheless, Joe Burns needs to... I wouldn't put on much of a fight against Deneen now, to be honest. If he gets that run... Yeah, Joe's just saving his battery, but he's going to stay ahead.
He
Needs
needs
to have a
DRS.
Oh, yeah, of course he did, yeah. Jesper and Iceman. Iceman has pulled away slightly, but Jesper just about got DRS.
The time's just going to pop up behind them.
Well, where is Hammer Time and all this? Yep, just behind him. That's a shame he couldn't quite jump those two. That would have been a perfect for him. Jesper's on 13 lap old tyres though, so he's going to be coming in soon.
Jesper's got to pit again.
So really it's
a... Aspects will be pitting again, so that might be 2 places.
So effectively they're battling for what, net P6 maybe? Steph has left the session.
About that.
Yeah, after his crash. We've had 3 retirements in prototype, Steph, Bottle and Spurge.
We should see Joe Burns dive to the pit lane this lap.
We should.
Which will release Deneen. There he goes.
Yeah, now where's Joe going to come out in? Always gone very, very early on the old brakes as Joe. That's going to have cost him about a second.
Yeah,
Hammer time right on the back of
behind
Jesper. Yeah. Now, I imagine he just needs to get a good run out this final turn here. Yeah, which he does.
Jesper goes to the pits.
Nevertheless, that promotes him up to P8. Now, where is his teammate in all this? Joe might have to jump on him here.
There he is.
Yeah, Joe's got him.
Yeah, that run out of the final sector, just enough.
Yeah. Hammer time's up in hot lap mode. So Nexus Aspect is going to have to pit again, 100%. So this is a net P6 battle for these two. Which would be a very good result for either of them.
I say, just don't do anything silly, it's a good haul of points, that.
I'm sure they won't, they're both very clean, respectful drivers. Yellow flag sector 3, Bendel's gone. Nexus Cats is in. Not enjoying the best race.
Bendel was actually in the pit lane because about 5 seconds before that popped up, it said he had a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits.
Meanwhile, your front two looking quite serene, as Ox just keeping Stocky at arm's length. Obviously Stocky has that penalty as well, which you probably won't know about. So he's just maintaining a gap at about 1.6, 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, he's quite comfortable.
Iceman took a lot of curb through that final chicane. I think he was on 2 wheels.
Here comes Joe. Swerve to the inside. Easy as you like. Joe Burns up to P6. Hammer time's going to be putting on the pressure very soon, but Joe Burns looks very racy. He's on for a net P5 at the moment, but I mean 12.5 seconds to Harry, it might be a little bit too much of a tall order for him. Let's focus on this battle with Hammer Time and Iceman. FTRL Bottle saying he's letting down his teammate. I wouldn't say so, mate. It's just an unfortunate thing. These things happen. Just enduring a bit of bad form, but form is temporary. Hammer Time. This could be a move here. Could be a little bit too early though. Yeah, thinks better of it. He knows he's on the faster tyre. He knows he's going to get that move done.
As Aspect in the pits for his second stop.
Yellow flag sector 2, Metza's gone.
Metza's gone.
Too sure whereabouts he is though. Oh.
Watching Gonzo, see if I can see him as he comes round. Does it possibly turn?
I think it might be the uphill. Yeah, the uphill left, right. We might see him in just a second. Are we going to see him?
Hammer time at turn 1.
Yeah, Hammer time's through. Yeah, Iceman didn't even try and win that one back.
Well, he didn't give it up easy. He fought it for a bit, but yeah, he just couldn't hang it round turn 3.
Well, Hammer Time versus Joe Burns for P5. But nevertheless, very good points for the McLaren boys.
Yeah, looks like Metza went off on the outside of turn 10 where Stroll crashed in. Breezy is interesting.
Lance Stroll crashing? Wow.
I know.
Don't know why, he's terribly gifted.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely nothing.
In his wallet.
With a rich daddy.
Yeah. But it's all calmed down a little bit now. I imagine that. I mean, right. Well, Stocky's pulled in a couple attempts on Ox. So maybe he's trying to
watch. Could be Nexus Aspect come out. He's on the medium tyres.
Yep.
He's obviously going to be chasing down Iceman shortly, but he's not on too much fresher rubber than Hammer Time and Joe Burns. So whether or not he can catch them or not, with the time he's got left.
Catamese is very, very close to Michael C now, who at this stage doesn't really need to fight Cat because he could be on for a point, which would be a good result for him in his first race. So
did he not race at Bahrain?
Did he?
I have it in my head he raced at Bahrain.
I mean, he might well have done. Just my memory is pretty much awful. Hammer time has
Mine too.
taken half a second out of Joe. Interestingly, no safety car tonight, so we've only seen the one in F1 at Baku. Big corner cut from Cat.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow is the day.
Maybe tomorrow, yeah. Could this be it from Catamies?
It's too far back.
Or is he though?
He is just inching up on the back of Ox.
Yeah, he is.
Now that down to just over a second.
Liam saying I think we need another pause. I'm not quite sure what he means there. Is it because I accidentally pressed pause after Metzer retired? I'm not entirely sure why, other than that.
Of course, Ox isn't going to know that Stocky's got that penalty, so...
I mean, he might do. He might be checking with Jeff, because Jeff will tell him if he asks.
It's true. That's what I was shouting at Zach to do last night.
I've just had a look at the race director for Ox. So I don't know if you want to know or not.
Oh dear, Catamies, that's a... It's quite a lunge. I say no more. Nexus aspect in DRS range of his Nexus compatriot. Well, Stocky will be happy with Aspect, bringing home a few points. I imagine he's probably going to catch Iceman and pass him in the next lap or two.
Cat very close to the back of Michael again through turns 1 and 2. Michael's held him off.
Hijacked Gaming saying, basically just doing a Jeff quote, which I'm sure we've all done at some stage. Metzer saying his wheel lost force feedback, so it just absolutely threw him off, so that's a shame. But nevertheless, good signs for him for the season, so fingers crossed he continues his form from last week into next.
Cat's got a good run out of 8, 9.
Could we see it again? Could we see it again? No, Cat thinks better of it this lap.
He's learning at least,
Well, I mean, since Cat was just...
Harry pitting from 4th.
Ooh. Nexus Cat's 10-second time plan over exceeding track limits. He's probably just getting out of the way of some cars.
I'd say he was off the track trying to keep out of the way, I think.
Very harsh.
He's being held as well. Why is Harry being held? He must have had a penalty.
Yeah, on the soft side, that's pretty much a confirmed podium for Deneen. Unless...
Aspect pass.
Oh, Catamies. Gets it done finally. Left that very, very late. 24 people watching the stream. Thank you all very much.
Michael maybe not finished with Catamies just yet.
Well, F2 have had some cracking races so far this season. It's actually the most watched, should I say, out of the 3 leagues that we've got.
Interesting that Harry pitted again now. I thought he would be able to go to the end, but clearly he must have been quite high on the tyre wear, and after Dutch got a puncture last night, decided not to risk it.
I mean, he shouldn't have been that high. He started on the medium.
Yeah. Unless he's picked up some damage somewhere or something. Yeah.
So he didn't change his wing when he went into the pits. I watched his pit stop. He obviously got held as he came out, which has let Pagani through.
Well, Michael C trying to fight back on Catamies here.
Meanwhile, Nexus Aspect is closing down on hammer time.
He is. And Joe Burns is just sort of managing the gap now. Could be a fruity last few laps. A very good result for the Ferrari boys if Aspect can slot in between the two McLarens.
Stocky now within DRS range as well, just as the SA came through turn 11.
Got a bit more battery than Ox as well. Not really giving these boys much airtime. I mean, they've been within a couple of seconds of each other all race, but
not like last night, the battle for the lead we saw between Ferrari and Mercedes.
no. Well, I mean, even if Stocky, I mean, go on, side. Is Ox like one warning away from a penalty or something?
No, not quite. He hasn't got one warning.
Ah,
He's totally clean.
well, there we go. Anybody that's ever questioned Ox and his driving ability and so on, there's your answer. Stocky is pretty much been tipped as the favourite for this, and Ox is throwing that back in people's faces at the minute. Nexus Aspect in DRS range of hammer time on the approach to turn 1.
Yeah, he's got a toe.
Don't quite think it's going to be enough. Oh, he's... No, he doesn't need to do that. Oh,
he's clipped him.
It's all gone wrong.
Didn't need to do that there. Did not need to do that.
Naughty. He had time to have another go at that.
Catamies and Michael C still really scrapping at it. Hammer Time's going to be absolutely fuming at that. But nevertheless, even if he lost position to Aspect, he's only a second and a bit behind Iceman, so he would have slopped back into where he was going to be. But it's effectively the dream for P5 over.
And while we're watching that, Harry has leapfrogged Pagani for the final points paying position.
Has indeed.
Got 3 seconds to go to catch Michael on soft tyres though. Not out of the question.
Now Pagani has a lot of battery left, and he is being dragged towards Michael C by Harry. So Catamies and Michael fighting has brought Pagani back into this, so Pagani could be one to watch on his last lap or so. Hammer Time only got 6% battery now, so he's going to be giving it everything. Now, I don't believe that was intentional for a second of Nexus Aspect, but
Michael around Cats.
Catamies switch back. Good little scrap this between these two. Harry's going to be licking his lips seeing this in front of him.
He's got us taking a second out of them on this lap. Needs to maybe get there a little bit quicker, only 3 laps left. While Ox has just eked that gap out now to 1.8 seconds, so I think that's Stocky's chances have gone.
Yeah, it appears.
Probably going to settle down now.
It appears as though it's game, set and match.
He's got more DRS. I think Stocky's been pushing, but I think he's probably going to have to settle down now. Maybe just keep an eye on his tyres.
Cat sends it back on Michael at turn 10.
See, he does like that.
Harry's in DRS range and Pagani's only 2 seconds behind this now, so this is going to be a right little train on the last lap and a bit. If Pagani can just give it everything now. He's got 100% battery, so he just needs to push.
Hammer Time on next Iceman, turn 1.
Here's Harry for 9th. Gets it done.
Has Michael got wing damage? No. He looked like he's really struggling to get round the corner, but
I think it's just those 16 lap odd. Oh, Harry off the circuit. He's pushing.
Pagani really needs to push now. Pop it up into overtake and just go for it. on board of Harry's. He's approaching the hairpin.
Fakes a move. Slots back in for now, but I think he's close enough to do him on the straight. So he's just got to wait. Bide his time.
Well, we could see some
more grip there through. Oh, he's going for it now. No.
We could see some desperate moves now on the final lap of the race.
Oh, there's touch.
Slide.
Well, final 2 laps, should I say. Pagani 1.7 behind. He can see it all.
I mean, Harry's got no ERS.
Stocky!
Stocky's gone.
Oh no.
Where's he gone?
Has he had a puncher? Has his tie gone?
Turn 8.
Watching Deneen with the...
Or was it just out of...
It's out of
Oh,
turn
he's here,
9.
look.
There
Oh,
he is.
no.
Was it a tie? Was it a
That
tie
is
play, maybe?
absolutely massive. Stocky had a puncher. Everyone's saying it. And there he is as Joe Byrne drives past into a... what some might say gifted podium. To be honest, driven a very good race as Joe. And it looked very unlikely early on. But that's going to promote Pagani up.
That is a gift.
So, oh,
Harry and Cat. Oh, contact. Michael's lost some wing, I think. Or was it Harry? I'm not sure. Pagani's right there now. I think it was Michael. Michael lost some wing in all that.
right, Pagani is well and truly involved on his final lap of the race. Nexus Cats has gone. It's all happening now. Just 12 finishes from 19.
Cat's so slow in that final corner.
Here comes Pagani. Oh, Michael swerved across to block him there.
Box is now in the final
Pagani.
sector for the final time.
Oh, crash!
What on earth was that? Michael just looked like he just drove across into Pagani.
I think he tried to move back over
Can't
to get
believe
back
that.
onto the corner.
Pagani
and
just
switched wheels.
Pagani just had no luck at all in this race.
Damage wing, but I think
Absolutely
he's
no
probably got
luck.
enough in
He's going to be
hand.
absolutely fuming. Right, hammer time. As Ox comes round and takes the win.
Won.
It has. Congratulations, Ox. Apologies we missed that. We're just going to watch this battle now for P5.
Isn't even likely to get it done after he
Harry's
suffered
gone.
with penalties.
Harry's gone.
Oh, Harry's gone.
Harry's gone.
There he is. Let's give it
He's got
another
turn 9,
position.
He's got turn 10 as well. He's got the same corner.
Now, I don't know about penalties for Iceman and hammer time, but Nexus Aspect's going to come home for P4. Joe Burns takes P3.
Deneen takes P2. Finally, that podium he's been looking like taking all season. Joe Burns third.
Iceman crosses the line. Hammer time crosses the line. Catami's going to come around to take P7. Pagani.
He's had such an eventful race. That's a solid points haul from 18th on the grid.
Wow.
Pending.
Absolute carnage. Those final few laps were very interesting. Jesper comes home, gets his first points of the season. Michael C comes round as well to take the final point scoring position of the race. But we lost 8 drivers.
I say we look at those final standings and that may change.
Yeah,
by the
even
time
with
we come to
penalties and stuff.
finalise
Yeah,
those.
exactly. I'm sure
I think
it's going to
be a few. There's going to be a few post-race penalties to dish out. I think.
I think we're probably just going to have to watch Pagani's entire race. I think this evening. Nevertheless, Ox flawless performance, cements his position at the top of the championship. Made up points on Pagani and Stocky tonight, so Joe Burns is going to move up into P2, which I'm sure we won't hear the end of. And Deneen picks up finally gets that podium, finally gets that result. So there's quite a large contingency of Irish in that top 5, which we've never seen before in FTRL. But yeah, plenty of talking points, plenty of action. Pagani would have jumped Catami's but for that incident with Michael C on the final lap as well. So yeah, let's get in the top 3 and see what they have to say about it. Please let us know your driver of the day in the stream chat. Simon, it's going to have to be you that invites everybody. So Deneen, who's it? Yep. I'll suggest them for you as well. Yeah, well, I have. I've just suggested them to you. Well, crazy race.
2 crazy races.
It was indeed. I'm looking forward to having a chat with these guys. Right, for the boys to join. There's Deneen, there's Joe. Do we have an ox? We do not. Let me just chase up Ox. Joe, Deneen, if you boys can both just double check you allowing your voice to be shared. I know you probably will, Joe, but
Yeah. No good.
Yeah.
there he is. Okay, well, gentlemen, first of all, good evening and congratulations to you all. We'll be speaking to you all individually, but I will come straight to you, Ox. Well, if ever there was any doubts about who was going to be the dominant figure in this championship, mate, you've just answered every single question thrown at you. Congratulations. How are you feeling after that?
I can't stop smiling, honestly.
Well, that's not like you. You're normally really miserable.
yeah, I know. I mean, yes, it was a lot of hard work to be on the top step today. I think one part of that is, well, my main rival's poor strategy call, starting on the softs and then taking on the hards, and he just ran out of tire at the end.
Yeah, it was a very
I'm super
unlucky one.
happy.
Yeah, it was a very unlucky one for Stocky. Obviously, he was keeping you very honest in that race. You boys were kind of scrapping as we thought you would. Obviously, qualifying both on the front row and kind of putting away. I think the key part of the race, I don't know whether you would agree, but it was that little period after Stocky pitted, because he came out behind like a 4 or 5 car train, and by the time he got past it, you were still kind of maintaining that gap. So that really, and then obviously by the time you come out the pits, I think you had a car in between you both, and obviously you was then able to pull away. He did then kind of come back at you a little bit and nearly got into DRS range, but then you managed to kind of manage it. Was you constantly keeping an eye on the gap, or was you just kind of managing your own race? Obviously you're a very experienced league racer now for all of the years that I've known you. Did that kind of come into play tonight?
Yeah, hugely. I mean, the fact that Stargate got called up behind a bunch of cars, I think that was one of the reasons I won today. And even after I exited the pits, we still had like one McLaren between us. So it was just unfortunate that he got stuck up in traffic.
It was indeed.
And to be honest, every lap, I see the top left-hand side of the screen, and I see the gap, and I'm like, yes, no DRS, that's brilliant. Keep this way, and perfect.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, over the just a couple of questions for you now, mate. Over the years, obviously, you've had some very, very competitive and difficult drivers. You've had some aggressive drivers, some very clean drivers across multiple leagues. But Stocky, do you think he could be one of your, over the course of a season, do you think he could be one of the most difficult rivals that you have? Because you look very, very even on pace. In terms of what I mean by that is fighting it out for a championship, that kind of thing. Because but for the mistake that you had tonight, and whatever else. I think you two, on equal form, are probably very, very close. So, do you think that was like a realistic thing to say?
Yeah, most definitely. We seem so even on pace. I don't know how is that even possible. But yeah, like you said, I've had many rivals. Say Mark in 2017 game, hugely fast man, but Stocky's gotta be up there, one of the toughest. But also, I have to say, one of the cleanest so far.
Yes, well, this is what I was going to say. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to see because it's kind of gone with, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, obviously sometimes you've been involved in some battles that have ended up a bit more, rough and that kind of thing. From both sides, obviously, as it goes on, some people have that competitive side where it makes it a bit more aggressive, whereas some people have real clean racing. So you two look like it's going to be a real gentleman's battle to the end, and obviously I wish you the best of luck, mate. After that tonight now, you are 18 points clear in the championship. So with Mr. Joe Burns jumping up into second place, which I've said on stream and I'll say again, we won't hear the end of. So, but nevertheless, going into Canada, mate, 18 points clear. Is it opportunity for you to run away now, or is it still going to be extremely close, do you think?
It's still going to be fairly close. I mean, it's 18 points now, and I haven't raced Canada really, but it's a fun track to drive, so I think it's going to be a blast.
Cool. Well, I think you said best track on the game wrong there, but but no, nevertheless, mate, massive congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you again next week on the podium. And just a final thing from me, it's very, very nice to see you well and truly back, my friend. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
Cool. Right, on to you, Simon or Lee. If one of you want to speak to Deneen.
Yep,
I'll do it. So, Deneen, congratulations. You finally made it to the end of a race without catching a puncher. And it's got you P2. So, yeah, talk us through your race.
Well, got a good start, crucially, to get through the traffic. I think there was a pile-up or something at turn 1, because I went from P9 to P5. I think there was a crash or something. So I managed to get through most of the traffic there, and then I was battling with Harry for a lot before the pit stops.
Yeah, so we saw you, obviously you closed up quite a sizable gap to get onto the back of him just before the pit stops, and then just managed to leapfrog him after the pit stops, and then you just drove away there. So how were your tyres? We saw obviously a couple of drivers get punctures late on in that race. How did you manage your tyres in that race?
I didn't really think about him because I knew since I was on the medium tyre at the start I could pit later and not have to worry about punctures, so I was able to keep him. I think by the end of the race they were 60-65%, something like that.
Yeah, that's good going. So you've shown great pace in both races so far this season. Obviously they've all been ruined by punches. Now you got the first solid result under this. Do you think it's going to be more of the same? Do you expect to be fighting for podium places for the rest of the season?
Well, I'd like to, but anything could happen. Like, who knows? Maybe I get another puncher next race or get damage or something.
Very true. So Canada next. Is that a circuit you enjoy driving?
No, I don't really enjoy it. Don't have good pace around there, so. No.
Well, we showed good pace tonight, and you've got a week to get some pace in before next week's race. So yeah, again, congratulations.
No, thanks.
Joseph Burns.
Hello.
Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that sort of stuff.
Happy New Year.
That was a gift, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Shocking.
Yeah. I don't.
So, bit of a disappointing qualifying. Decided to go for that sort of medium strategy and just couldn't get the lap in, I guess. So you started on the hard, decided to go long. Now, honestly, from where I was sitting, I thought you were going to struggle to make progress because whereas the likes of Hammer Time, Pagani, who also started on that tyre, they made a few places up in the first couple of laps, and you were still stuck down sort of P11, P12.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was what was it? Was it just getting the tyre switched on, or was it just you just couldn't make the progress?
Yeah, I mean, well, like you say, I had a horrible quali. Had a bit of traffic there, yeah, so I couldn't put the lap together. But yeah, went on the hards, and after what happened in Baku in the first sort of few corners, I just thought I'll take it really cautious. And I had the inside line as well, which scared me a little bit. So I just took it as easy as I could. I ended up losing a couple of places, but being on the hard tyre and most people around me was on the mediums, I just thought I'd be as patient as possible. And then, yeah, Katami's was a little bit aggressive in front, which him and Pagani started fighting, so it kind of held everybody up. So it was just a way of just being really patient and kind of just trying to pick my way through.
Now, I think that patience ultimately paid off towards the end of that first stint because you started to reel in your teammate quite considerably towards the closer you got to go, and even with him pitting first, you were still able to get out of the pit lane in front of him. So did you just manage to conserve that little bit of tyre life and just pushing lap?
Yeah, I mean, I'd done a few practice lobbies and just long running the hard tyres, so I was used to how the hards felt at that point. And strangely, the hard, like the more worn the hard tyres got, the sort of the better they feel. It's really weird on the hard tyre. So yeah, I mean, I'd say I was closing in Terry really quick, and then just as I was pretty much on the back of him, that's when he sort of pit in. So yeah, it was just about trying to put a consistent lap together the lap after, and just about managed to get out in front of him.
Yeah, and then when you came out of the pits, there wasn't really that much going on for you, was there? And then, yeah, the podium just fell into your lap.
Yeah, I mean, I was really gutted with what happened with Terry though, because he had a bit of a moment with Nexus Aspects, and as a team, we were on for a really good result. So that's that's a bit of a shame. But I mean, I was even closing the front runners down towards the end. I think I finished like 9.5 seconds behind Deneen, which not too bad.
Okay, well, we've asked the other two about next week's race. What are your thoughts on Canada? Don't say you don't like it just to
Be very careful, Joe.
Yeah. It's a fantastic track. I love it. Nice flowing, quick track.
Good lad.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, good lad. That's me happy.
I mean, on recent games, I struggled around Canada, but the more and more it's on the calendar for FTRL, it seems to, hopefully I'll do alright. I mean, it's one of those tracks that I'm sort of quite average at, so the points finish I'll be quite happy with it.
By the way, just to say, I'm legally obliged. I've got a deal with the Canadian president that Canada is on. Yeah, that it's on the FTRL calendar every single season. It was a personal request of his, so you know, just it's going to be on there every single season, so get used to it.
Yeah, Canadian president's a big fan of the league.
Somehow I feel like Bahrain is one as well. It's every single season Bahrain is on the calendar.
It's because it's always amazing races there.
Yeah, no.
You need to stop moaning, Ox. You normally win that as well. That's 20 points gone for you.
You won a championship there.
Right, well, cool. So, well, congratulations to our podium sitters. Another outstanding race in F2. There's a reason why it's the most viewed league in this season, and tonight is no different.
Team.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is the commentary team as well, you know. But I don't want to, brag too much. But yeah, no, on a serious note, it has been an incredible race, action from start to finish. Highly recommend everybody to go back and watch that again. Share it everywhere you possibly can. And yeah, it is the turn of the F3 boys tomorrow night, so let's see what they can do. We've got a couple of debutants tomorrow. We've got quite a few people back, so the number should be fantastic before we head on into Canada for round number 5. We're approaching the midway point of the season now. It's flying by. But nevertheless, the action never stops in FTRL. But thank you all very much for watching. Nearly 30 viewers at one stage tonight watching that live. So thank you all very much for your support as always. And we will see you tomorrow night. And join us back again next Tuesday for round number 5 of the F2 Championship for Canada. But thank you all very much and good night.